This collaboration, I think, has been bigger than any of us imagined.
I don't think I've ever seen city government, county government, private organizations, and state government come together this quickly.
It was lots of different partners figuring things out on the fly.
We have this structure developed together of public-private partnership that really achieved incredible outcomes for communities.
I'm just thankful, grateful. If it wouldn't have been for them, I don't know what I would have done.
Community Cares definitely changed my life.
This has been a phenomenal project as an example of a new way of looking at problems in our state.
So you bring all the parties together and we're kind of lead the example of how to trust, how to work together, how to collaborate, and it makes people a little more willing to say yes.
When the pandemic took place, I think very quickly here locally, we realized that we were going to have an issue with people being able to pay rent. And so many community leaders started to put their heads together on what we needed to do to address what was really going to become another local pandemic in people potentially being evicted.
A group of very bright people, very caring people, put together a public-private partnership called Community Cares Partners. They stood it up in order to administer the assistance that the federal government approved. And now we help tenants stay in their home. We help landlords continue to run the business. Utility companies continue to run their business. And ideally, stand people up and move people forward.
The role that Communities Foundation of Oklahoma played with Community Cares Partners is we initially started as a convener of private funders that were interested in addressing the needs that were going to manifest and be a result of COVID-19. And we still continue in the role of really providing the backbone administrative and financial support for CCP to function. CCP is, from a structural perspective, a program of Communities Foundation of Oklahoma.
What we realized early on is state government sometimes is the least efficient way to get something done. Not all the time, but sometimes. And with the potential of evictions all across the state of Oklahoma, it was clear that from the beginning, partnering to achieve these joint goals of keeping people from being evicted was the best approach.
So when the pandemic first hit Oklahoma, our office, and I'm sure every other elected official's office, was inundated with calls for help. When you don't know if you're going to be evicted tomorrow, you need help right away. And using that network of partners was a no-brainer for us. I really don't know how we would have done it without that partnership.
Well, Community Cares Partners was the entity that Oklahoma City contracted with to get our CARES dollars out the door into the community. And that direct impact meant so much to so many individuals and families.
So I have 2 children. I have a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. And at that time, I was coming out of a really bad relationship. I was trying to get away. I actually had lost my job at the time, couldn't pay my rent, and I reached out to Community Cares. So they helped me with my rent for 3 whole months. They also helped with my school. It helped me finish my certificate and start my own business. That really put hope in my life. So without Community Cares, I wouldn't have started my business. I appreciate you guys 1,000 times over and over for that. This is a complete life changer.
Well, I'm a single father, and I raised my 5-year-old by myself, and it hasn't been easy. My job, I work in live production, so we were one of the first ones that got affected and shut down by the pandemic, and it was really tough. I got online, I did my application. If it had not been for CARES, I would have probably been evicted with my 5-year-old. They helped with the electric and also my Wi-Fi. I'm just so grateful and so thankful because I still got my place. My son's happy, he's got a roof over his head. It helped me tremendously.
My name is Laura Yosef. My parents own about 60 houses in Northwest Oklahoma City. I manage all of them. We had some who could not pay their rent at all. You want to understand on one hand, but then on the other hand, you still have maintenance and taxes and insurance and everything to pay. So Community Cares Partners came. It was a huge help for the tenant and us to be able to keep them in a home and not homeless. and allow us to continue to do, daily tasks of our business to keep them in the house. So I have not had one bad experience, and I would recommend it to any landlord or tenant also that's having trouble paying rent.
City government wouldn't have had the staffing or the capacity to run these programs to spend the CARES money that we got and needed to get out the door overnight. So to have a group like this put something together out of thin air and get it going within a matter of a month was a godsend.
So I'm frequently on calls with county commissioners in other states from all over the country, and I have yet to see a program like CCP that is as well coordinated, that is public money and private money, and it makes me very proud to be a part of this project and very proud to be from Oklahoma.
So the legacy left by CCP is not just one of immediate people being served, but also a true framework for state government to work with local partners.
This example is outstanding in helping people of both the private sector and the public sector begin to think a little more creatively and differently about how we can address the significant needs that we have in our state.
What excites me the most about CCP is the future. I hope that we will take this knowledge that we've learned about public-private partnership and grow the next one even bigger than CCP, and I look forward to hopefully being a part of that process.
And so to think about a public-private partnership of ramping up nonprofit and the public sector and then even the private sector and having that all together and seeing how we can bring the best of all those worlds to solve some of these really big systemic issues like homelessness, intergenerational poverty, criminal justice, these huge issues, early childhood education, but to be able to solve some of these problems that hold us all back. It's really exciting. I hope it continues as a model. It's not the only model, but I think it's a really healthy model to go forward with.